I need your help. We're running an audience survey, which is your opportunity to tell us how we can make our content super helpful for you. Plus, if you fill it in and give me your email address, you'll be in with a chance of securing a free call with me. Hit pause and go to keepopt.com/survey right now. That's keepopt.com/survey to tell me what you think of our shows. It shouldn't take you more than a couple of minutes, and there's no required questions, so it's guaranteed frustration free. Right, back to the episode. Our partnership masterclass continues. This time, how to partner with your own customers to get new customers.
You're listening to the Keep Optimizing podcast to increase your traffic, improve your conversion rates, and grow your profits.
Hello and welcome. I'm Chloe Thomas, the host of this marketing focused podcast. And if you're not familiar with our format, each month we focus on a different marketing method. This month it's partnerships. And each week I interview a different marketing expert to explore the latest advice on making it work for you. This month we're all about partnerships. The marketing methods you can use that enable you to leverage the trust your target customer has in someone else or something else to increase their chance of signing up to you and buying from you. And generally, these tactics will have a lower customer acquisition cost and they'll bring you in a higher quality of customer because of that trust transfer and because you hopefully are picking the right partners who are the ones who your customers are going to like in the first place. This episode, it's all about partnering with your own customers. Yes, how can you get your own customers to bring you new customers? We are exploring that with a loyalty expert. We're going to be talking about how you can do it via a loyalty program. Of course, you can go and DIY some of this, but in times like these, a little bit of money spent on the tech is going to save you so much time and give you the data you need. So I strongly advise going and getting some tech to make all this super easy for you to manage. And we'll be sharing a little bit about what's working in loyalty more generally as well. All of that's coming up with our guest expert very, very shortly. But first, please check out our sponsors. This podcast is brought to you by Klaviyo, the email and SMS platform built just for e-commerce brands. If you're marketing an e-commerce brand, you already know that data changes everything. More data means more power. And if your email or SMS tools can't handle all that data, they're probably holding you back. That's where Klaviyo comes in. Its top-notch personalization and segmentation help you send the right message at the right time, guided by unlimited real-time data from your online store and tech stack. Request a demo at klaviyo.com/masterplan. That's KLAVIYO.com/masterplan. Today, I'm chatting with partnerships expert Jason Bell. Jason is Director of Partnerships at LoyaltyLion, one of the leading customer loyalty and engagement platforms. So who better to discuss how you can partner with your own customers to increase your sales? Hello, Jason.
Chloe, thank you so much for having me. I'm really pleased to be here.
It's awesome to have you here. When I was putting this month together and thinking, right, we're going to partner with retailers, we're going to partner with customers, we're going to partner with influencers, we're going to partner with affiliates. I was like, who am I going to talk about customers? I'm like, well, obviously, it's going to be one of the LoyaltyLion team. So the fact you do partnerships for a living as well is absolutely perfect. So thank you so much for agreeing to come on here. In the world of e-commerce, partnerships, and the reason we're highlighting partnerships is often quite a niche arena. You know, we get really focused on our email and our customer comms and our social and our performance marketing, and partnerships often gets a little bit neglected. So how did you end up in this world of partnerships?
Yeah, thank you very much. So I've spent the last decade in e-commerce, enabling small and medium businesses to grow online. First, it was a startup called Rangespan that Google later acquired 8 years ago. And then I spent 7.5 years at Amazon in terms of just before coming to LoyaltyLion 9 months ago. But my partnerships exposure really started at Amazon, particularly because I used to manage the the marketplace business for small and medium-sized businesses for their exports to the US and all of North America, but also Australia and other parts. And partnerships were key to enabling that. Partnerships with tax providers, partnerships with logistics providers, and other really great enabling partners. And it wasn't called partnerships at Amazon, but I was essentially managing the P&L and found that the best way to make my team successful was these other further enablements, including one I should even plug because they're great. It's the Department for International Trade as part of the UK government was, a further great partnership for us. And so I was really excited by this opportunity to join LoyaltyLion in partnerships to help a team scale where we had previously focused on partnerships with e-commerce agencies, particularly design and development agencies. But increasingly, we've expanded that to technology partners, and we're looking further to how we best work with other platforms and also big tech and even financial firms like e-commerce lenders and others.
Yeah, it's without getting distracted by the exciting things going on in e-commerce tech at the moment, partnerships, and it's such an exciting time with integrations, partnerships, and all the rest of it. But when Chloe, rabbit hole, supposed to be talking about partnering with your customers, retailers partnering with the customers. So let's get ourselves on track. And Jason, I'm going to start with a really, really open-ended question because you're the expert in this, not me. What are the most interesting ways or the most powerful ways you're seeing LoyaltyLion users leverage the power of their existing customers to drive new sales? So getting new people to buy.
I believe the most powerful way, and our data supports this as well, is leveraging friend referrals. Both the existing customer and the new referred customer have been shown to be more loyal than other customer sets. It is a terrific way to partner with your customers, and it's so cost effective, right? We have many e-commerce brands really concerned about high acquisition costs, and this segment we don't need to go into iOS 14 and 15 and subsequent changes, but they're monumental and they're not just isolated to Apple and maybe reliant businesses. It's across the board. We're seeing high acquisition costs. So using this is such a cost-effective channel. And I think one thing I'd want to highlight within that is loyal customers spend 67% more on average than new ones. And just as I was alluding to, these referred customers, they're the most likely to be referred because they weren't sold to in a gimmicky way. They had a genuine reason and particularly a match of values. I think one other thing that I think is quite interesting is that LoyaltyLion data has shown is 89% of shoppers stay loyal to brands that share their values, and often, you get a friend referral because of two friends sharing the same values, and we find that just immensely powerful.
It's like a fast track to a much better quality customer, as well as being cheap. It's like, one, it doesn't cost you so much, and two, they're so much more likely to be a high quality customer because friend get friend is such a brilliant way of bringing on the right customers. So would you agree with what I think, which is that at the moment, going into what's going to be an interesting year, every e-commerce store should be building some form of refer a friend into their business, because once you've set it up, it kind of just keeps ticking over as well, doesn't it? This isn't something you have to manually do every month.
Simply put, yes. I fully agree with just as you've put it. It is so important. Sometimes loyalty for some businesses can be an afterthought, and it's important that you consider once you have a customer that could be loyal or a customer that could refer a friend. And you have to take the most of that opportunity, because I think what particularly 2022 or late 2021 and 2022 is showing us is that some of the free lunch that we maybe saw in 2020 and early 2021 amidst the pandemic and e-commerce, maybe it's not gone forever. Maybe there's something else that's going to bring it back, but things are probably a little harder now. And there's macroeconomic storm clouds that will make it even more challenging on discretionary spending. And so I think that you've got to make the most of cost-effective strategies like that, starting with loyalty, but particularly friend referrals, because they're so genuine and they really build out your loyal customer base.
I guess we could do this from a No incentive at all, i.e., why don't you tell your friends? Simple email, just tell your friends about us, or right the way through to a you get 50% off, they get 50% off. And everyone, I am not recommending you do a 50% off voucher. Probably, it's almost certainly a bad idea for this. What sort of incentives are you seeing people using to make this effective?
I really do like the shared incentives where you make it financially interesting for the loyal referring customer. I don't think that has to be significant, but I think that's one way. So I've seen that done. I think probably what's more interesting and more cost effective is experiential. It could be that you unlock a hidden tier it could be unlocking a visible or a hidden tier within your loyalty structure for the most loyal customers. But there could be other things. I think I know that you have an international audience, but they'll be interested. Many will be interested in a Harrods store, right? Because it's a bricks and clicks story. But Harrods found, and I heard this loyalty story years ago when I was at Amazon, that what they found the most effective thing was not huge discounts or not other things. It was allowing a very loyal customer to show someone behind the scenes parts of Harrods that others couldn't access, right? Something that was totally free for Harrods to execute. And, for me, it was really eye-opening in terms of like people really value experience. It's similar to why travel spending isn't going away amidst macroeconomic storm clouds, even if people are pulling back on other discretionary spending categories. And so experiences are so essential. And many of us, like myself, that are maybe extroverted are so hungry for being in person with others. And so you should make the most of that, but particularly make it experiential so it's cost effective.
I always feel that we're being a bit lazy when we just go, oh, just do 20% or just do 10%. And there's so many more creative ways to do it, which actually, as that Harrods example, shows, they create much more of a bind to the customers. They're much more interested. And remember, guys, you are trying to, in this case, you're trying to incentivize someone who loves your brand already. And with a discount, there's probably only so many times they're going to buy from you a year anyway. There's a limit to that. So giving them something that's, I don't know, a different design of t-shirt for free, or a free gift that if you sell coffee, you give them a mug that they can't get anywhere else. They can't buy it. Very, very low cost for you, very, very high value for them. And I believe LoyaltyLion have recently partnered with someone to do something which is very close to my heart, which is to add a sustainability angle to these incentives.
Yeah, well, Chloe, thank you for setting that up. So, a new 2022 interesting integration for us is Verdant. It's a platform which allows merchants to give environmental pledges to products. Our integration with Verdant allows these pledges to be used as rewards. So, once customers have claimed these pledges, they will receive updates on where their money is being spent and how the projects are progressing. And very specifically, like, what are we talking about? We're talking about planting trees. We're talking about plastic reclamation from the ocean. And just as I was alluding to before, in terms of, I think it was 89% of customers remain loyal when a company shares their values. For us, this integration has been really buzzworthy, and I applaud what Verdant's doing, and I love that we have an integration to support that, because it's so important in terms of wherever you sit on the climate debate. I think many will agree we have a problem, and there's more to do.
I think it's such an interesting way to go about incentivizing customers at the moment, because it is fundamentally planting trees in the right parts of the world, removing plastic from the oceans. Can only be good things. And we know from all the stats that customers want to be more responsible, but they're finding it really difficult to work out how to. And this is something they can really easily get their heads around. So I think it's an exciting thing to use across all your marketing. But to add that experiential feel-good piece to an incentive for an existing customer can only be a good way to do it. So refer a friend, clearly a very cool way to collaborate, to partner with your existing customers to get new customers. Any other ways you're seeing the brands using your systems to generate new business from their existing customers?
One other one I'll talk about, because I think it's also buzzworthy. It's also talking about an integration, but LoudCrowd is a new 2022 integration for us, and it's helping get more user generated content from your clients, and of course. your e-commerce pages and your reviews and other pieces can be so much more engaging and genuine with content from TikTok and Instagram and other places. And part of that is, a journey of acquiring customers, getting those customers to make a repeat purchase, making them loyal. But then, at the other end of the continuum, beyond loyal is influencers. And of course, influencers has become a very big business, and I'm not here to advise brands on whether they should be doing paid influencers, but particularly when you set it up, when you set up your scheme to help a loyal customer become an influencer simply because they believe in your mission and they share your values, it's simply powerful. We partner closely with, reviews, particularly Akendo, and, reviews are so important, but particularly where the review is, has, video content and others, it's really quite powerful.
Yeah, and it's something which I know everybody knows they need more reviews, they need more video reviews, they need to add that user-generated content, the social proof into their ads, but collecting it and running separate schemes to gather it can be a bit of a nightmare. So if we can bundle it all together, use it to make people more loyal to us, and at the same time, get them to a level where they're ready to do refer a friend, where they're referring people we don't even know about or giving us content we can use in our ads, there's just so many ways you can leverage the relationship you have with your customers. And I think a lot of businesses are just traditionally a bit bad at that in the retail space. We just see them as a source of further orders, but there's so much more they can give us.
Yeah, I would fully agree with that.
So let's talk a little bit, because it would be wrong of me not to ask you questions about this, given that you work at LoyaltyLion. How are you seeing to flip it, how are you seeing your users using the loyalty programs at the moment to drive repeat business? So sales from those customers rather than new customers from those customers.
I think there are a number of examples, and maybe it's an opportunity to include the fact that LoyaltyLion has this Hall of Fame and annual publishing of what we think are the best loyalty programs out there. But one I'd like to highlight, I think it's timely, is Edgard & Cooper's loyalty program for pets. So this one specifically, it has non-monetary rewards for donations to dog shelters, but it is a really engaging and high repeat purchase inducing loyalty program that has created a really strong community around pet owners and getting behind a shared cause. And one other one is Skinny Dip. Skinny Dip's named their loyalty program Skinny Dip Airlines, and they've got a lot of taglines around ready for takeoff, and it's really quite catchy, and they do a great job of incentivizing loyal customers into next tiers in the same way that airlines do, but they make it far simpler and easier to understand, and honestly sexy compared to what typical airline loyalty programs look like.
Would it be true to say that if we're looking to build a loyalty program that brings us new customers as well as repeat, more sales from our existing customers, the content, the branding, the community aspect of it is as important as the rewards tier system, be they donations to dog homes, be it planting trees and removing plastic, or be it cold hard cash?
Yes, I think the loyalty program should be an extension of your brand. Like the name of it is so important. The tiers of it should be emotive about your brand and the experience that you want to build. I do think the rewards are also important, but I think it's very similar to other relationships where people remember how you made them feel more than what you said. And I'd liken it to this a bit, that a loyalty program is very much about how you're making someone feel, more so than always particularly the fine print or always the nuts and bolts. That the nuts and bolts matter, and what you say does matter, but often how they feel about it is more emotive and memorable and more likely to bring them back.
Nice. So yeah, there you go, guys. Make sure you are building that branding, that community, that content aspect into it. A loyalty program, I think it would be fair to say, Jason, is not a set and forget marketing piece as a whole, but there's set and forget bits within it.
It is not a set and forget bid, and maybe what we were talking about earlier in terms of, some of the free lunches of e-commerce, or the guaranteed growth is at least temporarily gone, and so you do have to work at it a bit. And I think loyalty solutions and LoyaltyLion software does make it easier than completely building it yourself. But it is not a set and forget. There are great cadences that you can set up in terms of welcome emails and birthday rewards and other anniversaries. But you should work to align your loyalty program with other seasonal campaigns you have, because it's only going to be self-reinforcing. So you should not set and forget it.
Excellent. Well, thank you for all of that, Jason. We are now going to pause for a reminder of our sponsors, and then we'll be talking about the wider world of partnerships. This podcast is brought to you by Klaviyo, the email and SMS platform built just for e-commerce brands. If you're marketing an e-commerce brand, you already know that data changes everything. More data means more power. And if your email or SMS tools can't handle all that data, they're probably holding you back. That's where Klaviyo comes in. Its top-notch personalization and segmentation help you send the right message at the right time, guided by unlimited real-time data from your online store and tech stack. Request a demo at klaviyo.com/masterplan. That's klaviyo.com/masterplan. Okay, Jason, so far we've gone deep into partnering with your customers. Now you get to wow us with your insider knowledge about everything. So for the following questions, your answer can be anything to do with what we've already been talking about, or a wider view on loyalty and e-commerce. So Jason, are you ready for these?
I am. Thank you, Chloe.
Okay, let's start with newbie advice. If we've inspired someone to take their first step, what do they need to know to give themselves the best chance of success?
The best advice I have is to complete the Loyalty Academy, a rich resource of videos and easily digestible narrative with clear graphics on the benefits of loyalty for an e-commerce business. This is completely free and available via LoyaltyLion.com. There's also a certification that people can share on social, which has already proven quite popular. I did mention it before, but also our Hall of Fame highlights the best loyalty programs, and it can give such inspiration on what strategies or tactics you could best incorporate for your brand.
I love that. And I would just emphasize to people, it is worth doing your research before you start a loyalty program. Do not just install it and hope it's going to work. You need to get your strategy right. And those are two amazing resources for getting your head in the right space. Now, once you've started, of course, you've got to keep optimizing. So what's your favorite way to improve performance?
So my favorite way to improve performance is to leverage friend referrals. Both the existing customer and the new referred customer have been shown to be more loyal than other customer sets. And then, given I've already covered that, I also wanted to mention that you can improve performance by digging into data from the LoyaltyLion backend. Like there is a rich dashboard of data that is highly actionable, that is very clear graphically. Particularly, the most important is to highlight your at-risk customers. Right, this is about retaining and rewarding and not losing customers that can prove immensely valuable for your customer lifetime value. The net profit in perpetuity for a customer relationship. But that back-end dashboard is full of rich data, as I mentioned, in terms of at-risk customers. But that is a great way to improve performance and keep optimizing.
If there was only one reason to not do this yourself with some kind of amalgamation of Zapier and Google Mail and some other random tools, it's the data, because that's where the power comes from. If someone listening wants to learn more about everything we've been talking about, is there one cheap or free resource you would recommend?
So the most cost-effective resource I'd recommend is the Loyalty Academy. It is completely free. It's available on LoyaltyLion.com. And yeah, I'd really suggest checking it out.
And as you mentioned earlier, there's a certificate, and we know e-commerce marketers love a certified course. So there you go, guys. Get that certificate. Wave it in front of your boss. We all know what we need to do. Finally, it's crystal ball time. What's coming up in the next 6 to 12 months that we should be getting ready for?
Absolutely. So while I want to be upbeat about the global economy over the next 6 to 12 months, I think e-commerce brands need to prepare for different scenarios. As this relates to loyalty, it is key to have a loyalty program in place to ensure you are maximizing customer lifetime value where discretionary spending could dip. Further, retaining your customers is far more cost effective than acquiring new customers. So put solid plans in place to reward and celebrate your loyal customers to keep your business thriving in a potentially uncertain climate.
Excellent advice and very concisely put there as well, Jason. That was a really nice distillation of what's going on. So a perfect answer. Jason, we are very nearly at the end of the show. So could you please let the listeners know a bit more about LoyaltyLion and where they can find you and it?
Yes. So please check us out at loyaltylion.com. And we're also on, of course, on LinkedIn and Instagram. In terms of finding us on LinkedIn and Instagram, it's LoyaltyLion, no space. It's all one word, but loyaltylion.com. And for those listening, in mid-July, you can find us at Grow New York the week of essentially 19th and 20th of July in Brooklyn, New York. Our team will be there. But if we don't have a chance to see you at Grow New York, hopefully we'll have a chance to engage with you otherwise.
Excellent. Well, look, thank you so much, Jason. It has been very cool drilling into what's quite a straightforward set of tasks for the audience to improve their partnership marketing and get those customers to drive them some new sales. So thank you very much for giving us all the details on that today and coming on the show.
Thank you very much, Chloe.
So a fairly straightforward, as I said, strategy there for you to deploy. I agree that when we go into these tough times, as Jason was saying, you need to make sure you've ticked the boxes in those customer retention areas. Now, it may not be that these tactics will bring you as many customers as historically your Facebook ads have done or your Google ads have done, but they are going to give you some super solid, great customer recruitment at a low cost. That's just that bedrock that you can then be building everything else on. And from the retention point of view, it's a great way of keeping the relationship with your existing customers. So you make sure that when they've got the cash to do it, it's you they come and buy from. So in terms of new customers, use your loyalty program to run a refer a friend program, which, as Jason said, and this is really the key thing to take here, when you do a refer a friend, both the customer who refers and the customer who gets referred are the most likely ones to become your best customers with the best customer lifetime value. So the stats back it up. This is a great strategy to be setting up. And then, of course, you can also use them to get that social proof that's going to help you improve the response rates of all your marketing and potentially even take them into becoming influencers. But we'll be talking more about influencers later this month. You can get the links to everything we discussed, including both that free Loyalty Academy that you can do and the Hall of Fame. And the Hall of Fame is one of my favorite free PDF downloads that comes out each year because there's so many crazy ideas and unique ways of using loyalty software. It's really, really good. So that and the full transcript of this episode, our notes and more are all available at keepoptimizing.com, or you can use our new special direct to episode links. Just put keepopt, so opt.com/episode number into the URL bar and you'll go straight to the correct page of the website. Once you get to the website, you can also add yourself to our email list so you don't miss out on any of the many other things we share via email to help you improve your business. And when you're on the website, you can also sign up to our monthly Q&A webinar because as part of my mission to help you improve your marketing, I've invited all our partnership specialists from this month to join us for a live Q&A in a couple of weeks' time. It's your chance to get your questions answered. Just go to keepoptimizing.com and you'll find out all the details. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of the Keep Optimizing podcast. If you've enjoyed this mini dive into the world of loyalty and partnering with customers, then scroll back up our list of episodes wherever you're listening. You're not watching, you're listening. And you will find the whole month we did on loyalty late last year. Really vibrant set of episodes. We looked at a lot of very cool things. We had Fiona from LoyaltyLion going more deep into loyalty itself. We had Michael Solomon talking about the new chameleons, which is a great way of understanding customers. So scroll back to our loyalty month and have a binge of those if you want a bit more on this kind of a topic. Please also tell your fellow marketers about the show, because I create it to help as many e-commerce brands and marketers as possible to improve the performance of their marketing. So the more people you can encourage to listen, the more people we can help. And that would just be, quite frankly, awesome. Have a brilliant week and make sure you listen to the next episode so I can help you to keep optimizing your marketing.
Access everything Keep Optimizing at keepoptimizing.com. That's with an S, not a Z.